18 months in the hole. What's that look like?
18 months in the hole. Man, that was the roughest moments of my life, dude.
What are you thinking about during all that,
Everything.
right?
Everything.
Yeah, man, there's nothing but time to think.
Bro, you rack your brain so much in there, and it's like it can be very depressing and defeating, and it just very inhumane. Bro, summer times were the worst, man. I mean, you're laying on the concrete floor just sweating bullets.
No AC.
No AC.
Damn, that's bad.
And I remember like laying near the crack of the door because
trying to breathe.
Just to get some breeze, right?
I get it.
Bro, I'd lay up against the door and I'm like, oh, that felt good. I'm sweating bullets, man. And typically it was when the CO would walk by, then you get the breeze, and it's like, oh, yeah, that felt good.
Right. You just wait on one CO to walk by so you get some air.
Yeah.
Imagine spending 18 months of your life in a cold, dark cell. In today's video, Josh is going to tell us about being in solitary confinement for 18 months. He's also going to talk about how he was an addict when he was very young. He had no father in his life. He turned very violent very quickly, very easily. He had no sympathy. He had no empathy. And through the process of being in solitary confinement, picking up a Bible one day, he changed his life. Now he has a family, and he is a leader in this community that is helping to change lives through a program called Urban Void. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Chopping It Up. We're in the good spot. So Josh, welcome.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
Chopping It Up, man. I haven't done one of these for a while, bro. It feels cool to sit here for a minute, man.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to get your story.
Yeah. No, this is a great place you got here. Thank you, man, for just allowing me to come here and share this. Yeah, man, I'll give you a quick, just kind of upbringing. Grew up in Baltimore City. That's where I met Zach, great friend of ours.
Okay.
Yeah, grew up in Baltimore City, running around, doing whatever pretty much. No dad. I always tell people, my dad has one attribute of God. He's invisible. Right. So,
right.
I love joking about it, laugh about it.
Yeah.
But, as a kid, those things do hurt,
Oh, for sure.
They affect you a lot. So my mom's a single mother, have two brothers, one older, one younger, all 2 years apart. We're very different. Actually, my older brother's an amateur wrestler. He wrestles in like Chicago for,
okay.
Was it Pro Line or something like that?
Okay.
But, so he's chasing his dream, and we've always, been kind of big into that as kids and just always fighting, boys, man. But I was a big sports guy, football, baseball, basketball. It was like kind of where I found my niche. In the city. That was one of those things that as a kid for a while there kept me out of trouble,
Right.
Once I became a teenager.
And this is like inner city?
Inner city. Yeah.
Okay.
South Baltimore, Brooklyn, that area.
Okay. Gotcha.
So, a lot of us as you get older, obviously start meeting girls, all that other stuff, everything starts to take place. And once I got into just wanting to date girls, be with girls, all that other stuff, man, I threw the sports to the side and was just like, I'm going to start chasing, and start doing the things that I thought they were attracted to, right? So it wasn't just the sports, it was the bad boy image. It was everything else that comes with that. Like, hung out with all the older guys, dudes that were in their 20s. I'm 14 years old. Like, I have no business being around these guys.
Right.
Drug dealers, all this other stuff.
Right.
I'm like, they took a liking to me because for me, it was, I just was always feeling like I wanted to learn from them. These guys have money. These guys have girls.
Sure.
They have the lifestyle that's like
I think that's what a lot of youngsters look up to, bro. I think that's what a lot of gang members that join gangs get into joining gangs for, too. And the same reason as you didn't have a father in your life, right? You said he's invisible.
Exactly.
That's exactly where it comes from.
Yeah, man. And, it's thinking about some of that is when I think about being around those guys and being in that environment in general, it was, obviously now I look back and I'm like, what a stupid child. I bought into the lie, right? You buy into the lie of what your environment is, and you're never going to be anything other than what you see here right now, right? And, for me...
Do you think you really thought that way, though? Do you think that was like... You think that way now because you're older and more experienced, but in that point in your life, you didn't have anything to really, compare it to, right?
No.
Like that was the only way forward because that's what everybody else was doing. You weren't presented options that said, hey, you can do this and be good, or you can do this and be.
Yeah, no, 100%. And, you think you have to be good at sports to get out of the hood. It's sports, like you're fed sports constantly.
Or rap.
Yeah, rap or whatever.
That's like the new thing, isn't it? Okay.
And that is such
content.
gosh, rap music is so bad, dude. I used to listen to this junk all the time, and you know what goes in your head, what you're listening to, what you're seeing,
Sure.
all those things can truly shape a person, profile, personality, everything about them. You know, I bought into all that stuff, man. It was such
I did too.
fake crap, man.
I did too.
But
when
yeah.
I was coming up, it was the Biggie and Tupac
Oh,
beef. So it was the East Coast versus the West Coast stuff. So if you listen to that music, you were an enemy.
Yep.
You know, just for listening to the music, like, you're a whore. Yeah. So I get it.
Big into the DMX and all that, too.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was very different, though. My brothers were, I was a black sheep of the family, man. Like, my brothers were very clean cut, didn't get in trouble, none of that stuff. And my mom sort of befriended me in a lot of ways. Like, I remember I came home one day, smoked some weed for the first time. I'm blazed, right? I'm talking eyes all glossed over. I'm smiling, dumb look on my face, right? I come walking in. I just ate like a big chicken dinner, right? I go to my buddy's house, smoke some weed for the first time, come home. It's probably like an hour and a half or something. Come home, pull out a pot. And I remember this vividly. Pull out this pot, man. Start dumping a whole box of Fruit Loops into this pot. Right? My mom's just staring at me like, boy, what are you doing? I said, what? I'm looking at her with this goofy smile. I can't stop smiling, right? And eyes all bloodshot. She's like, are you high? I was like, no.
And it's funny, they knew, like, they had no idea that you were getting high, but they knew you were high.
Oh, they knew.
Mine was the same. My mom came home the first time we got some weed, me and my buddy Tommy, and we was high as shit. We was on the couch, stupefied, could barely walk.
Yeah.
I could see her come down the driveway. Why didn't I go to my bedroom or something so she wouldn't see me? Nope, I stayed right there in the living room. As soon as she comes in, she's like, what's wrong with y'all? Y'all are fucked up. Yeah, it was bad news all the way around, man.
Can't hide it, man.
Definitely not.
They always know.
They definitely know. And we will know too. If you're our kids, we will know. Tell your kids. You're going to know.
Yeah. Both of them, man.
Right.
Yeah. So, you know, was eating with a wooden spoon, by the way. Just like stir spoon. Anyway, so yeah, the first time I smoked weed.
How many Fruit Loops did you get on a wooden spoon?
Oh my gosh, dude, bro. I think I was like falling asleep halfway through, trying to get into my mouth.
I've been there, done that too.
It was so bad. Yeah, poured like half a gallon of milk in there. It was ridiculous, man.
Oh shit.
But yeah, my mom was. She actually turned to me though, and she was like, the next day, she was like, and this is kind of where things went really bad for me, where I really needed discipline. And my mom the next day was just like, you know, if you're gonna smoke weed, all that, you do it here. Don't go anywhere and do it. So that's like a green light, right? I'm like, oh, that means I can get as high as I want, however I want in here. So my mom became my friend, right? And that was the worst thing for me. Like as a kid, it's cool. You know, I'm like, man, I can smoke weed in my house. My mom says nothing to me. Then I started drinking, right? So, you know, 14, 15 years old, we're getting crackheads on the street to, you know, go and get us some alcohol, come back out, that kind of deal. And, you know, I remember being in my basement, I'm twisted, man. I got bottles of liquor all around my basement, hanging up like they're souvenirs. I'm like, it's the coolest thing, you know, like as a kid, who has a bunch of bottles of liquor hanging out in their basement?
Before you're even old enough to drink.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
So, you know, that led to a really, really bad alcohol addiction at a young age, man, 14, 15 years old. And I'm just absolutely making all the wrong decisions. I had a very bad anger issue. Alcohol fueled that. You know, pride, all that stuff, respect, disrespect, all that plays a part in that environment too. But, yeah, I mean, I for some time there, from the first time I got arrested, I think I was probably about 15 years old, jumped in a stolen vehicle with some of my buddies, and you know, we're driving around, did a couple donuts. We had a Ford F-550 that we stole. This thing was massive, dude. I mean, dually wheels and just a monster truck, bro. And we're driving around with no headlights on in the middle of night.
No idea how to drive for real.
We don't know how to drive. No headlights on. People are flashing us to tell us to put our lights on. Cop catches us, pulls us over, all that stuff. So first time I went to jail was my freshman year of high school. And school was just about to start. So I remember my mom, everybody's mom's coming to pick their kid up, you know, from the jail detention center. And I'm sitting there like, where the hell's my mom? like, she's supposed to be here. Everybody else is getting out. She let me sit there, miss my first day of high school, which is like critical. Like, you need to know where all your classes are and all that stuff. So she left me there, you know. And again, my mom had a very different, unique way of just kind of teaching you lessons, right? Like,
she let you burn yourself.
Yeah, she did.
She didn't put no bubble wrap around you.
No. But she didn't treat my brothers that way, man.
Really?
Which was the strangest thing. Like, she coddled my older brother a lot, and then my younger brother, we picked on him a lot. And so because we did that, she kind of did the same thing, like coddled him as well. And so it was
you got caught in the middle.
I got caught in the middle, man. Yeah.
Not as much attention as one or the other, but
no. So it was a.
I wonder, that's weird. I wonder if that's like a thing. The middle sibling gets a certain whatever.
Yeah.
Like across the board.
Doesn't sound.
Maybe it could be. You know what I'm saying?
Because I feel
like like your first kid, you don't know what the hell you're doing, bro. And they're going to be around a year apart no matter what. So by the time you get to the third one, you kind of know a little bit more about what you're doing, right?
Yeah. I mean, it is something about the middle kid syndrome, right? Is what they say.
Sure.
It's middle child syndrome.
Okay.
But you know, again, those things did shape me. Like, I remember this kid chased me home from school one day, and it was the first fight I ever got into, man. I was scared, dude. I was like terrified. And I was in elementary school, right? It was majority black people that go to my school at this
It's
time.
in Baltimore, man.
Yeah. So, you know, this guy chased me home, and it was over some girl. And I run in my house, and I'm like out of breath. And this was a long run home, dude. I was Forrest Gumping this thing. I was Forrest Gumping it, man. I was getting loose and running to my house. And, you know, I closed the door. I'm out of breath. And Mom's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, there's some kids outside want to beat me up." It's like 4 of them. And she looks out the curtain, and she's like, "All right, well, you know, give me your backpack. Get your ass out there."
Okay. Right. She wants you guys to handle it.
Yeah. She's like, "Go handle your business," you know? And for me, I'm like, what the hell?
She was
Ma?
Pops right there. She was Pops at that point, yeah.
Like, Ma saved me.
Right. Mom saved me from the bad boys.
I'm waiting for the
She's like, "Nah, go get that, She's like, "You got to take that, boy."
Yeah. I'm waiting for the Superman cape to come out. Boy, go out there and fight, you know, handle your business. And, you know, I went out there, got stomped. You know, I you know, kind of tried my best to rush him, but got stomped and all that. So that really fueled a lot of my, again, aggression, my wanting to fight, willingness to fight, all that things. So,
so it's like that pops your cherry, and you felt you liked it.
Yeah, it was a weird, bro. So it was a weird thing, because in the midst of me getting whooped, I felt like I've earned this respect, this like a merit badge of like, I can do this. Like, I can do this all the time.
Right. Because at first you were scared, but when she made you go out there, you had no choice. And then when you got in, you was like, well, this ain't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I didn't have any more fear.
I can do this.
Yeah, didn't have any more fear, man.
Okay, I feel that.
And so I started, you know, getting suspended, getting expelled, went in high school, and ended up getting kicked out of high school for the same thing, fighting. And, you know, probably into once I turned 18, I'd probably been arrested now. I did some time in juvie, probably about 7 times at this point.
Oh, shit.
Before I turned 18.
Man, I made it past juvie. I don't know how.
Yeah.
But I didn't get in trouble when I was young like that.
Yeah, I was.
So that's got to change everything coming up, right?
Oh, absolutely, man. My friends that I used to play sports and stuff with looked at me like I was a goofball. Like, bro, you are crazy. I can't hang around you. And so all the negative people, me being a negative person, started surrounding me, right? We're all doing the same thing. We're all getting high, all drinking, doing, you know, sex, everything.
So these kids, are you making friends with the juvenile hall kids now?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And what is their dads in their lives? Probably no.
No.
Right.
And that's most of the problem. I mean,
sure.
And that's kind of, and what I want to talk about later, but with Urban Void, my company that I'm trying to start here. But,
perfect.
For me, there's an absolute gap there, not having a father in the home that's actually, you know, disciplining their children. See, the thing is like when you're in those situations, you're like, for example, my mom used to bring all the wrong men home. Men home. So that negatively affected me 100%.
Sure.
And it brought me to this point where, you know, I was catching myself fighting them guys. Like, I'm fighting my stepdad, I'm fighting their boyfriends, all this stuff, right? And had no respect for them guys. But, you know, by the time I was 18, 19, I hooked up with, ironically, a buddy, Jamie, but not you, obviously. Guy named Jamie. Love this dude, man. Tattooed on my right hand. He's got my name tattooed on him, and that was my dude, man. I mean, talking about I would do anything for this kid, like, and he was probably about a year or two younger than me, but loved him, man, like a little brother. And you know, I think it was because he looked up to me in some way that gave me this loyalty to him. But you know, did a lot of dirt together. Did a lot of dirt. I remember one day where he brought this 9mm, right? And I don't know if he robbed the house and found it or something like that, but he came across it. So it's Labor Day. We go out into the woods, this place called Bloody Pond, right? And we go out there, we start shooting. You know, we think it's cool to take videos of it and everything like that. So we're pop, 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 shooting this 9mm off. And, it, you know, we do a couple rounds, me, him, and another buddy of ours. And it comes back to me. We have no gun etiquette. We don't know
safety at all.
Safety, none of that. It's get a gun, shoot, point, shoot, point, shoot.
And joke by doing this.
Yep. It is the dumbest, most dangerous thing. And so here it comes to me. I'm squeezing the trigger, pop, 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 and it stops. I'm like, what the hell? And I'm doing this. I'm like, my finger's still on the trigger.
Right.
Still on the trigger. I'm doing this to turn it. Squeeze the trigger. Pop. Right past my head, man.
No way.
Almost, and this was on camera. Almost blew my brains out on camera. On camera, bro. The scariest thing. But here's what I did. I did that, and then, oh, okay, it's still working. Boop, boop, boop.
And just turned around and kept shooting. I had a buddy of mine I went to high school with, man, did the same thing with I think it was a black powder rifle, and blew his neck off. Like, just missed his jugular, blew his neck off, powder burns all on his face. He died in a car crash probably 6-7 years ago.
Dang, man. That stuff is dangerous, bro.
And he probably didn't know either, right? Crazy story, too, man. I remember my grandfather taught me a lot about guns, but I didn't understand it either. I thought it was a joke. I remember one time sitting on the bed here. Chicks are sitting on the bed over there. TV's that way. They're watching the bed. Here's a 22. I pull it out, point it right at that girl. Click, 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 click. About 3 months later, I come back to the same place, and I'm sitting there on the bed. I pull out that 22. I pointed at the ground. My grandma's in the basement. Pulled the trigger. Bang! Grandpa had loaded it somewhere in between those two times. Thank God it wasn't loaded when I was pointing at them girls' heads. I've thought about that a lot. I'm fucking 49 years old. I probably did that when I was like 8. It could have been a horrible, horrible thing. Changed my life.
Yeah, for sure, man.
So teach your kids gun safety, man, for real. If you have a gun in the house, you have to teach gun safety. Mandatory.
It is mandatory, man. And, you know, again, growing up that way, you don't know any of that stuff, but it is absolutely, I mean, so many terrible, you hear all the terrible stories about guns and kids, and those are things that have to be taught, man. Right. They have to be taught.
So back to your buddy Jamie.
Yeah. So Jamie, man, hey, God bless him, man. I love him as a person. For me, you know, we get into this scuffle. It's a bar fight, and you know, every time, I hate to say it, but the dude starts all the fights, man. And
dude, I'm just gonna say this before you get any further. Everything you're saying about this dude reminds me of one of my partners. So I'm gonna let you finish, and I'm gonna see if they keep lining up.
I will. So, well, let me say this. Right before this bar fight happened, probably like a month prior, I was having a party in my house. Him and another buddy of mine were downstairs with a couple girls. I'm upstairs with my girl, and you know, I hear this yell, Josh, Josh, Josh. So I know something's going on, right? Come running down the steps. I grab these, I'm in my boxers, right? I grab these 2 empty bottles of King Cobras, and I start running to the living room. There's 2 people, a guy and a girl, climbing through my living room window. And I'm like, what the hell is happening here, right? So I take the bottles and start hitting them, right? Pop, pop, pop. Pull the guy through, and I'm stomping him, throw him out the front door, stomping him up under my stepdad's truck, and all this craziness is happening, right? And while I'm doing that, he's knocked out up underneath the truck. His girlfriend comes up behind me, stabs me in the back of my head, stabs me in my shoulder, stabs me in my back a couple times, and I didn't feel any of this happening. I just felt like this warm sensation running down my body in different areas. I'm like, what the hell's happening? So I'm walking, get into my house, and I'm walking towards the bathroom, and the last thing I remember was my toilet, and I'm just, boom, out. done. I was like, I was sleeping for 3 days in the hospital, in ICU, shock trauma. Yeah, she almost took my life, dude. Almost killed me like that. And I remember the cops, like, you know, I wake up and I'm handcuffed to the bed. There's a cop there. And he looks at me, he's like, do you know who did this to you? I'm like, now check this out. This is the mind of the environment in which you're growing up in, right? You're thinking, I'm not a snitch. I'm not going to tell you who it was. If I do, number one, I'll be labeled as a snitch. Number two, I can't get them if they're locked up. So I'm not going to tell you because I know who did it. And I know where they hang out. So my mindset is, nah, I don't know who did it. I don't know who did it. Now they had the 2 arrested already because they were all knocked out, laid on the floor on the concrete. So I'm like, no, I don't know who it is. I don't know that. I don't know them. And so, you know, I'm in the hospital, wake up 3 days later, all this is happening. Jamie, you know, flashback to a month after all this occurred, gets into the fight. We're at the bar and I stomped this dude, man. I mean, I whooped him so bad. I almost got away with it. When I think back, you know, the only thing they had on me was somebody had videoed me kicking him in the head. That was the only video out there of what occurred. And I had run. I was so drunk. I fell probably about 15 times trying to run back to the car. Curb after curb that I was trying to get through. I'm just ducking and rolling.
How old are you? How old are you at this point?
I was 21.
Okay.
I was 21. And so I was legal. I was able to drink in the bars and stuff. And so I'm down in downtown Baltimore and I'm out with these girls. I'm out with Jamie. This is occurring. And trying to get back to the car, man. I'm like, I just got to get back. So these girls that I was with are like, oh, they got Jamie. They got Jamie. And I'm like, my stupid self was like, oh, hell no, I'm going back. I'm going back. What am I going to do?
They who? The
cops.
Okay.
They're like, I'm like, what am I going to do?
Right. Because if you're going back for the boys, it's a different. But the cops, what are you going to do? You're just going to get in trouble.
My stupid self, man. Loyalty.
Right.
It's the loyalty. And I'm like, nah, I'm going back. I'm going back. So I go back and I'm hindering the investigation. So they pull me down on the curb. As soon as they did that, you know, they drive the victim up and they're like, yeah, them two.
That's
right
him.
there. My dumb self could have got away.
Right.
But loyalty, blind loyalty, led me to go back and get locked up with my buddy. Right. So we're in bookings and I'm sitting there and I'm like, we're in there for about 2-3 days. This dude was in a coma. Didn't know if he was brain dead. Didn't know if we didn't have any charges.
They're waiting to see what happens.
They're waiting, right? So we're like, man, what the hell? You know, what's going on? The whole time I'm thinking me and Jamie have a good conversation, all this stuff, right? Like, no indication that the dude was going to flip on me. No way. Like, that didn't even cross my mind. You know, we were in the bookings and the lights go out, right? We're walking the track and lights go out and I immediately, boom, grab him, push him up against the wall. Like, bro, put your back against the wall. Like, this is just something that I knew of already, right? Like, you don't just keep walking. So, you know, like I'm still guarding him during this time we're fighting these charges, right? And end up coming down to 2nd degree assault and, you know, some other things. But, you know, so when I go into court one day, it's 5 years was what they offered me, 5 years. And I go in, I'm like, look over, I see Jamie. Like, bro, what are you doing here? He's like, oh, yeah, state, they told me I needed to show up. And I said, man, you're snitching on me.
Right, you're on the other side of the aisle, bro. Do you understand? We're co-defendants. We're supposed to be...
You're supposed to be over here with me, dude.
Right.
Like, bro, he's snitching on me, man. And
that's crazy.
I come to find out later from a buddy that Jamie had called home and was talking to his mom, and one of our buddies, mutual friends, was in the car with his mom and was telling her, like, hey, whatever it takes, you know, I'll flip on him. If that's what it takes, I'll do it. That's the best thing ever happened to me, man.
So how much time did Jamie do?
None.
Okay, he went home.
He went home.
Did he actually hurt the guy?
No.
Okay.
No. Now, he started the fight. I jumped in, and he really, I mean, he didn't do much at all.
He started it, though, huh?
Yeah.
So you got a little resentment there.
You know, for me, it's again, I don't believe in coincidences. You know, for me, I'm like, God has a purpose for my life. And at this point now, where I'm at, I look back and I realized nothing but lessons from it.
So you're sentenced to how much?
5 years initially.
In what state? Maryland State?
Yep, in Maryland.
Maryland State Prison.
Yep, and I went to Hagerstown, was where I did my first bit of time. I jumped around through all the prisons there, but Hagerstown, Jessup, Cumberland, maximum security, all that stuff. And, I got into prison. I joined a gang, right?
Okay, yeah. So when you started out, you're definitely in a high level because of your charges.
Yep.
So as soon as you walk in on the yard, you're on a big yard.
Yep.
There's no fraud charges. Everybody there is robbery.
Yeah, murder,
or worse.
All that, yeah, worse.
Yeah.
So when I'm in there, I go into a cell with a guy that, and I'm not gonna mention the gang's name that I was a part of, but
Gotcha.
I was there with the guy who was actually from my neighborhood, and this gang started in my neighborhood. So a lot of these guys I was very familiar with. I knew their names, I knew what they did, all this stuff. So I was no stranger to these guys, right?
Well, it's like going in there and it's like almost family.
Yeah, it was like homeboys. We were on the street together,
Right.
And so for me, I get in there, I'm with these guys, I'm hanging around these guys, and ultimately at the end of the day, it's these were a group of guys that, for me, when you're a white person in prison, in those prisons, you're very much the minority.
Absolutely.
Very much
For
the minority.
sure.
And so there's what I was seeing was white people being picked on and not standing up for themselves. And that was so irritating for me, right? I was just like, bro, I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. I was more or less welcoming. Come on.
Try me.
Try to.
You better try lotto, motherfucker.
Right?
You better chance at the lottery.
Yeah, 100%. And the thing was like, bro, like when you're in the mentality of, I'm not scared to die, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to, I'll tell you the story. I was in a fight and I'm holding this dude down and I'm telling him, let go of me, wouldn't let go. And I bit the tip of the dude's nose clean off. And so for me, like, I was in this mentality of, I will do whatever it takes to make sure that I accomplish this goal of me surviving, right? It's survival.
Right.
And so for me, it was like, that was the only move I had. It was, if I let go of him, he's going to attack me. If he don't let go of me, well, we're just going to be laying here. So I bit his nose off, the tip of it right off. For me, it was just made sense, right?
I mean, it is what it is, bro. You don't got your arms to do anything, or your arms aren't working.
And my mom always said, there's no rules in fighting, man.
No, right?
You got to do what you got to do. And so for me, it was, entering that environment and seeing everything that was happening to people in there. It made sense to just be with these guys that stood up against that.
Sure.
For me, I respected that.
Sure.
And I had a lot of good relationships there, man. A lot of guys that were they struggled with the gang life. You meet a lot of them that yearn to be free from it, but for some reason they just want to be a part of that. And I think that's human nature, right? Like you yearn to be a part of something.
Sure.
Like you want to be a part of a community or just something, right?
Well, standing alone, how many people's on the yard? Some of them prisons.
Usually it was 96 and 96. So I don't know what that number equals out to. Well over 180, 190, something like that.
So on some of the prison yards I was on, like those pictures right there.
Yeah.
1,600 people on the yard. 1,600 dudes.
Wow.
And it might be 250 white guys, it might be 40 Indians, and it might be 400 Mexicans.
Is West Virginia?
No, that was federal prison. So I was in the feds, but that was Lee County, Virginia. So I was in Virginia, but I was also in Butner, North Carolina. I also went through Atlanta, Georgia.
Wow, 1,600
people. So when you're surrounded by that many people, it's very easy to feel alone.
Yeah.
Very easy.
Yeah.
And it's so huge. It's so freaking huge.
Oh, dude, that's crazy. I couldn't imagine. I thought 200 people was a lot. I'm looking around the yard like, man, you got to watch everything,
Yeah.
But I remember seeing probably like my first, not my first violence that was happening first violent attack in prison. But so we're on this high alert level, and we're beefing with some Murder Inc. guys at this time, and all this stuff is happening, right? I'm not yet. I'm about to get my. I'm trying to figure out how to say this without triggering anything. I'm about to get my flag, I guess, right? Okay. I'm about to get my flag, and so
your patch.
Yeah, my patch. There you go. There you go. So for me, I'm like, okay, well, it is what it is. We had these. Got
to put in work.
Yeah, got to put in work. You got to put in work. So we're sitting there waiting for everything to kick off, and the guy that I'm under, who's bringing me up, looks at me. He's like, all right, bro, this is you. Kick it off, And I'll never forget this feeling.
He kind of speaks for you.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Exactly. This guy brought me up. He's just like, go do this. And I remember this feeling of just like nothing, dude. I'm like, all right, whatever. You know, like I used to think that why the hell do people put so much emphasis on you got to stab somebody, you got to stab somebody, right? I'm like, bro, what is that? Like for me, it was like it seemed simple. It seemed like fighting. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't get the whole point. Like, what is the big deal about this? So I literally went up and I just started the war, kicked the war off, started stabbing guys, and you know. But it felt like I was throwing punches, bro. It was the scariest, easiest thing to do, and that was weird, man. Now that I look back, like the mentality of just not caring, not having any sense of where my life could be. I could be dead. One move, I'm gone. I'm away from this earth, and you know. Buying into the lie, the environment, man. You know, that was a...
I think what's most interesting there is like you didn't care about hurting people.
Yeah.
And you didn't understand why other people cared about hurting people.
Yeah.
Physically.
Exactly. And
do you think you understand it now?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
So do you understand the difference between sympathy and empathy? Right. Do you think you understood it then? Not
no
at
idea.
all.
No
understanding at all. You couldn't put yourself into those person's shoes and understand what it would be like to be them. And once you understood that, it kind of changed how you looked at that. Does that sound right?
Yeah, it changed my life, yeah. Well, so, you know, I did 18 months behind the door. I did 18 months behind the door, solitary confinement. And this was just for stabbings and these fights I got into.
So once you got in, you stayed violent.
I stayed violent.
You stayed crazy violent, and they took care of you because of it.
Yeah.
They're not going to let you keep doing that. Moved you around. That didn't work.
No.
We're going to put your ass in this cell by yourself.
Yep. This is where you're going to stay for 18 months. And for me, I was...
What's that look like? 18 months. What's in there with you? What do you have? Do you have a radio?
Your metal,
do you have a TV?
No. You get none of that. No radio, no TV. I mean, you get nothing, man. You get nothing. Nothing. You get your a book every month, one book a month. You know, you got your toilet and you got your vent. You know, you stand on the toilet, talk through the vent, and talk to the guy next door or something, right? But nothing, dude.
No window in the door. You can't see out your door.
So yeah, you get your little slit door.
Could you see other cells from there?
Yeah,
right. Because that's how we used to talk. Right. Yeah. Okay.
Slide your cars and all that.
Right. So what he's talking about with the cars is we would tie a line on the end of a note, and then put some weight behind it and slide it under the door.
Dude, I watched some guys that like perfected that.
Yes, be a gang. Bro, we could send it down a hallway for 60 doors.
Yeah.
Back and forth, down the hallway, down the hallway, down the hallway. And then they'd send it out and send it, and you pull it all the way back, man.
Dude, some of the sickest things.
The stuff you see prisoners do is absolutely
so innovative.
Amazing.
So innovative,
amazing,
man. How they make fire, all that stuff. The tattoo guns. Innovative, man. I'm just like, bro, you guys are geniuses. I learned how to make moonshine in there.
So I always said that I went in with a GED in crime, but when I came out, I had a PhD because they taught me more than what I knew when I went in. When I went in, I knew how to do certain things, but when I came out, I knew a whole lot more, and I had ideas about how to break more laws in a better way.
Yeah, dude. You have more time to think about it too, right?
Right.
You have more ideas.
Yeah, so thinking about it, 18 months in the hole, what's that look like?
18 months in the hole. Man, that was the roughest moments of my life, dude.
What are you thinking about during all that,
Everything.
right?
Everything.
Yeah, man, there's nothing but time to think.
Bro, you rack your brain so much in there, and it's like it can be very depressing and defeating, and it just very inhumane. Bro, summertimes were the worst, man. I mean, you're laying on the concrete floor just sweating bullets.
No AC.
No AC.
Damn, that's bad.
And I remember like laying near the crack of the door because
trying to breathe.
Just to get some breeze, right?
I get it.
Bro, I'd lay up against the door and I'm like, oh, that felt good. I'm sweating bullets, man. And typically it was when the CO would walk by, then you get the breeze, and it's like, oh, yeah, that felt good.
Right. You just wait on one CO to walk by so you get some air.
Yeah. That was crazy.
That's horrible.
Yeah, that was crazy, man. So I'm sitting behind the door, man, and I'm breaking everything down, my life, and I'm like, I need to get the hell out of this gang. I need to get the hell out of this life. I don't want to live this life. I don't want. What you're sold is the brotherhood. You're sold this facade of we're with you to the end, no matter what you go through. Always got your back. That was never the case. It was never the case, man. I mean. Every time I was behind the door, I never got a note from them guys. I never got a bag of coffee or a shot of coffee from them guys, man. Like, it was you were alone. You were on ice. You were not thought of, They're all chasing drugs. They're living their lives. So as a guy who felt like I put in all this work, I've done this for this, and it's like I don't even exist. Like, what the hell am I even doing? This is stupid, you know? And for me, it was just like, okay, I need to get the hell out of this gang. Well, when I'm going through this, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna write my mom. I haven't talked to any of my family at this point. Nobody's in contact with me. Write my mom, said, Mom, you know what? My life is pretty much crap. Nobody loves me. I'm done. You know, I ended up getting an extra 9. I ended up getting total when I was in there through the fights, through the stabbings, ended up with 15 and a half years in prison. Ended up doing 9.5 of that. So the first 4 years I'm in, I'm trying to get out of this gang, and I'm just like going through my mind like, man, my life is nothing. Nobody loves me anyway. I'm just going to kill myself. And for me, that seemed like the only logical thing to actually do because what the hell, nobody cared anyway, right? I mean, I was alone. So for me, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna write my mom this letter. Tell her if she don't write me back, I'm gonna kill myself. She never wrote me back, but I got a letter, and it was from my uncle. And this is a guy that he took me in at like 19 years old, and tried to show me a different life. I mean, my uncle was very well established. We'll just say that. And tried to bring me into a different life. He's a Christian, all of that. And try to introduce me to this different way of life. I was wilding out, man. You couldn't put this dog into this new environment and expect something different, right? So, yeah, I'm about 6 months, 7 months in there. I end up getting caught messing with a girl that's in the church. And she ended up being like one of my uncle's friends' daughters, and it was a big mess. So I got kicked out of there. But he writes me a letter, and the letter, I still have it to this day, man. It was the most meaningful letter ever. He writes me,
especially at this point in your life, right? Like you're at that bottom, bro.
I'm at the bottom.
You're alone in a cold, dark cell in a prison with your freedom taken away. Your family's not calling. Nobody's paying attention. Yeah. It doesn't get much worse than that. And then you get this letter.
Yeah, I get this letter, man. And you know, in the midst of that 18 months, you really start to hate yourself, man. You pick your life apart, it's like, you are a scumbag, dude. Like, that's all I could come up with. Like, you're a scumbag, bro. Like, so I get this letter. My uncle's telling me, you know, obviously he's well into his Christian faith at this point, right? And he's telling me, he's like, you know, I want to tell you that I'm sorry. He's apologizing to me. I'm like, what the hell? I'm need to be the one apologizing, man. And he's apologizing to me. He's showing me this grace, right? He's showing me this mercy in my life. It's the first time I've ever felt like just so many questions. I felt so many questions. Just like, felt happy. I felt joyful. I'm like, man, what the hell is this emotion? Like, this actually feels good to read this from somebody and to feel cared about, right? And so for me, I just took that and I'm just like, my uncle's telling me about Jesus. He's like, you got to read John. He's leading me to where to start off, right? And I'm just like, all right, look, I've done everything I can in my life to try to make a difference, to change my life. And I was like, okay, I'll give this a shot. You know, so that night, actually, the Bookman comes around, and this is the once a month book that you can get. And so I reach out and like, hey, man, you got a Bible in there. You got a Bible in there. So it gives me a Bible. First half of the Old Testament is ripped out and all that. So I'm like, all right, I just got to read John. I'm like looking through, trying to find John, you know, find it, start reading the book of John. And it just depicts this man who, in my opinion, it's the best depiction of and description of who Jesus is and was. So for me, I read that book for the next 7 months. This is 11 months into my solitary confinement. The next 7 months, I'm reading the same book. I didn't move out of it. I just wanted to know more and more about this guy. I'm like, who is this Jesus, man? And so I'm eating, I'm seeing things differently, Still in a gang. I gotta get the hell out of this, man. So I had a buddy next door to me I was conversating with, and he's about to go home, off for lockup. So I'm like, oh man, that's sweet. I never knew the dude had a phone. So he slides me his phone as he's leaving. I'm like, what the heck? This little thing, man. It's like a fake iPhone, you know, touch screen and all that. I'm like, what the hell? So I'm sitting there, I'm like, man, who do I call? Like, so I call my mom, I call my uncle, I call everybody. I get a hold of my mom, and she's a bartender in Brooklyn still. And So I call her and I'm like, Mom, this is what's going on. I need to get the hell out of this thing. Don't be mad at me, but I know how I can get out. It's just not going to be good news. You know what I mean? So it was either I had to hit a mission, do a mission, or I was going to get done up, one or the other, right? Stabbed up, whatever you want to call it, blood in, blood out. And for me, those were scary ass thoughts now. I'm like, I'm feeling fear now. I'm feeling feared. And I don't know if it was just I don't think it was the physical action of it. It was letting my uncle down now, and now telling my mom that I'm about to commit another, act of violence when I'm trying to get away from that. And so, I'm sat there and my mom's like, call me back in 15 minutes. I call her back and she's like, I got somebody on the phone here for you. So talk to this dude. He's like, I just give his initials, SB. And she's like, yeah. He's like, look, man, I've known your mom forever, right? And at the time, he was the head of the gang I was involved in. And he's like, I know your mom forever. I'm going to give you a pass. But if you come back, I cannot help you. I can't save you.
Okay. So this is a shot caller.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Big dude.
He going to let everybody on the playing field know that they got to leave you alone. And let you rebuild your life.
I took it for
That's
gold.
a blessing, bro. That's a big blessing.
I took it for gold. I was like, I'm going to run with that. I think he's telling me the truth. I'm going to run with that. And so I get off of solitary confinement. I'm a new believer. I believe in Christ. Like this is a brand new me. Doors are opening. I've seen these dudes I used to hang out with, all that. And didn't say anything to him. Just kept it pushing. And I remember this one time in a chow hall, I'm thinking, there's one dude, bad dude, man. I knew that he's a savage. Like, I know he's a savage. I put in work with him. I've seen him put in work. I know he's a savage. So I'm like, all right, man, how am I going to handle this? I'm like, all right, I'll wait outside the chow hall. And as he's walking out, I walk up on him. I'm like, bro, what do you want to do? Because I'm not going to let you get me from behind. And, I'm here. And he's like, look, man, we're told you're good. So I was like, he actually spread the word for me. It was actually legit.
Well, you understood the politics before that anyways.
Yeah.
And that's why you trusted it.
Yeah.
You had seen that in motion before. When somebody's got a green light, they're in trouble. And when somebody says lay off, they're in trouble if they don't lay off.
Exactly.
And those dudes knew that.
Yep. Yeah, and they respected it, man. And I was grateful for it.
They have to. It's the only reason it works.
Yep.
And even then, it's not like it's a positive thing, but it does provide a certain amount of structure to an absolutely chaotic situation.
Structure, man, I'll tell you, it's funny how that is, right? Like, there's actual morals and stuff that you get into with those living that gang life. It's funny how that actually is a thing. But yeah, man. So I took it for gold, and I started going to church there, start preaching to these guys. I probably preached in prison from the time that I was saved and released and was a new Christian. That's 5 years there still. And I probably preached over those next 5 years, man, over 40, 50 times. And I'm preaching to the same guys that I was once gangbanging with, same guys that I had beef with and all this other. And I remember.
That's how it works, though, bro.
It was incredible.
That's how it works. And that's why people like you and me are the ones that has to spread the word that it's possible.
It's possible.
Because at your low, you didn't think it was possible. No. And look where you are today.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
It's an incredible thing, man. And here's the thing, like, and Zach knows this as well. I'm a sinful man. I have fleshly desires. I do things that are against God's word and the will of God, and I'm not the best Christian out there. But I try and I fight hard every day to live the best life I can for him, for my family. And I do that with my full heart intent of doing good and providing for people, being a good citizen, right? All those things. But, ultimately, while I'm sitting in prison, I get a lot of good friends, Christian brothers. That God Has Triple Life is one of my best friends, man. Will Faulkner, man. And he's got triple life. He's got to die 3 times before he's free. And for me, I talk to him every week. He calls me. I always answer my brother's phone calls. As you know, right? Like, when you call somebody and they answer the phone, bro, that's the best feeling in the world, right?
Means something.
Oh, bro, it is the best feeling in the world. And for me, leaving that place, I cried, bro. I cried leaving prison. Like, the day I was leaving, I cried because all I could think about was I wanted to take these good men. These were good men. Committed crimes, whatever, but these guys have been transformed. They've been made new. And for me, that hurts so bad that I couldn't take them guys with me. And now 2 of them are going to be getting out here soon. So I'm grateful for that. But, you know, I cried, bro. Like, I think about it now. I'm like, man, who cries leaving prison? Like, like I cried real tears, man. I was hurting for these guys. Like, I loved the fellowship that we had together, right? So, you know, I get out of prison, and probably 2 weeks out of prison, I see this girl at a Bible study, right? That my uncle and my aunt brought me to. So I'm looking at her. She's telling me about the story of her doing a missions trip in Africa and how she's serving and all this. And I look at my aunt and uncle, and I'm like, you know, my aunt had told me 2 years before, you know, pray for a wife, pray for a wife. So I'm reading Proverbs 31. And I'm like, this woman don't exist. There's no way this woman in this world exists like it says in Proverbs 31. So I'm praying. I even found my daughter's name in the Bible while I'm in prison. So her name's Italia. So I write it in my Bible. I was like, it's going to be the name of my daughter. I haven't even met my wife yet, you know? So I see my wife, and I look over, and I tell my aunt and uncle, I said, that's going to be my wife. They're like, bro, you just got out of prison. Like, how about you get her phone number first?
Right,
you know?
right.
So for me, I'm like,
let's get an address or something.
Yeah, like at least, you know. I'm like, hey, have a conversation, let her know you're in the room. So for me, it was just like, that's the one, right? And what I've been praying for. It's 2 weeks out of prison. And so, you know, jumping forward 4 months later, we're dating, we're talking, you know, all that puppy love stuff, man, on the phone for hours and hours. And 4 months after I got out of prison, I'm engaged. And 6 months later, we're married. 3 months after that, she's pregnant. We got a little baby girl. She's 2 years old. She just turned 2 in July. And, you know, I'm a real estate agent now. I've been doing this for 2 years, and love it. It's been phenomenal for my family. I get to spend time with my family, and just so many doors have been just opened for me. And it's all because of, number one, by the grace and glory of the Lord, man, that has just saved my life. He saved my life. And I probably wasn't worth saving, but he found value in me. And for me, I think of that, and, you know, sometimes it makes me choke up, because it's, you feel value, man. Everybody wants to feel valuable. And for me, having that purpose in life, and Christ gave me that purpose, right? And he instilled in me what we talked about earlier, sympathy and empathy, and not knowing what that was. He gave me an understanding of all of that, and caring for people, loving people, and you know, that's the
value of life. You
man.
didn't value life before that. You didn't value somebody else's feelings, whether it was mental or physical.
Yeah, exactly, man. And he gave me a heart just to care for people, man, and that's been the biggest blessing in my life. You know, obviously, again, ever since we've been out, there's, you know, all the material things that he's blessed us with as well, owning a house, and cars, and all this beautiful stuff.
But ultimately, that comes from the purpose.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It comes from the purpose. But ultimately, you know, my biggest thing that I'm trying to accomplish now is, you know, starting up Urban Void. It's I got into golf. I got into golf last year, and I love it, man. I've been like massively addicted to playing, practicing, getting sweat. It's such a great game, and I'd never thought in a million years that this kid from Baltimore, tattooed all up, belongs on a golf course. That's even open for me, right? Like, whole time it is. You can go to any golf course. It doesn't matter where you're from. They don't check your credentials or your birthplace, right? It's, hey, do you got green? That's what speaks, you know? So as long as you got the cash, you could go play golf. And so I fell in love with it, man. It's peaceful. It's quiet. You get to see, you know, nature, trees. It's all prime. The grass is kept so well, nice. There's etiquette. There's respect. Everything that falls into golf. And for me, I'm just like, dang, I love that. I love that. So I've always had a urge to just serve the youth, right? I want to serve the youth, help them out to, you know, the kids that don't have fathers, man. What we talked about earlier. Help these kids out, give them a purpose, teach them etiquette, teach them respect, all these things. Best way to do that is give them scripture and apply it to a sport. Get the kids outside, right? Because they're all strapped to their computers, playing their video games or whatever. Let's get outside, right? Let's learn the game of golf. So I found a way to tie both of them together and to be able to serve them and teach them lessons throughout while they learn the game of golf and learn some scripture at the
So
same
what's that
time.
look like when somebody signs up for that? What do they do?
Yeah, so they can go to my website, urbanvoid.org. They can email me right from there, and that's pretty much it. We'll put you on the list. We'll let you know when we have those practices and those meetings. Typically, it's every 2 weeks.
And where are they?
So it's in Maryland. I'm based in Westminster, but I pick up kids from Manchester, from New Windsor, from all over the place.
Okay.
So for me, it's hey, if you're interested and you want to get involved in this, I'm 100% will pick you up.
We'll figure a way to get you there.
We will get you there.
Okay.
We'll get you there. And so that's the goal, man. Urban Void. We just want to fill that void. Exactly what it says. Want to fill that void and teach kids some lessons, man. The things that I think they're missing.
So have you tried to get into any jails or prisons or
I tried, man.
juveniles? Okay.
I've tried. So I reached out to a guy. Are you familiar with Damon West? Have you heard this name? So this guy's got an incredible story too. He was he had 60 years in Texas prison, and his life was changed by this Muslim guy he came in encounter with, and he told him this story of a coffee bean, right? And he said I believe he said it was an egg. Where if you take an egg, you throw it into the pot of boiling water, it gets hard, right? And the inside's soft. Prison can do that to you if you allow it. Now, you can be a banana, right? And you can be a person that's like layered, right? You can layer yourself off, and inside you're still mush, right? It's nothingness. Or you could be a coffee bean, right? And what a coffee bean does when you drop it into a pot of boiling water is it evaporates, but it changes the environment that it's in, right? So he said that story changed his life when he went into prison. Now he's speaking all around the world. I mean, college football teams, everything, right? Wrote a book, and so the guy has a phenomenal testimony, phenomenal story, addict, everything. And so he shares the story about the coffee bean, and he says, if you can be the coffee bean that changes the environment around you, changes people's attitude, changes their outlook on life. And so that for me was like, I'm going to be the coffee bean. I'm going to be that. I want to change the people that are around me. I want to affect them positively because all I've done is negative things in my past. So yeah, man, that's kind of where this urban void is just like, this is filling a void for me too spiritually, where I want to serve the youth, because when you get them young and you fill them with these etiquettes of respect and the things that they're not being taught at home, it can change their life and their trajectory of life, So that's the most important thing. It really is.
Absolutely, man. And definitely, I mean, the kids are the future, one way or the other. I think that every generation thinks the next generation is going to destroy the world. This is something I've been thinking about a lot, from Elvis Presley and his hips not being allowed on TV 70 years ago, you know what I'm saying, to the crap that we see now. And the constant content, always something to look at. When we used to have to sit down, we have 4 channels to look at, the whole family sat there, and it was an entertainment thing.
Dial on the TV.
Right. And it just makes me think that it's like the end of whatever, but it's just the end of us. It's just the end of what we grew up with. Who knows what it's going to be next.
Yeah, and you can make a difference now. Like those kids, you can change all of that. You can change the content grabbing as far as like, the zombie scrolling, where they're just, screens in front of their face 24/7. If you just pay attention to them, like if they feel like they're cared for, if they feel like they want, somebody wants to pay attention to them, then they'll be willing to do pretty much anything that you want to do with them. Like, you want to go play baseball? Let's go out there. Let's throw the ball.
So it's the option of sitting here scrolling or doing one of those things, whether it's playing ball, riding a bike, going to an amusement park, going on a hike.
Just a little bit
I think
of
most kids would too. I think some of it depends on the age group. Some of it depends on how old they are, and then the respect and or relationship they have with that person.
Yep.
Somebody like you could come in, whereas somebody that's in the house might not be able to have an influence on that boy, and you could come in and have an influence that man will never be able to have.
Yep.
Just because he looks at that guy as someone who's trying to do something, and he's looking at you as somebody trying to help.
Yep.
I think it's good, man. I think that's good. I'm trying to get into some jails around here. I'm trying to talk to a sheriff and get a podcast on, one of our local sheriffs.
Wow.
But I really want to get into the jail. I want to get
Yeah.
in there like an AA program.
Yeah.
You know, I want to get into the juveniles. I want to tell them, you know, be able to tell them my story a little bit, tell them where they're headed, tell them how this is going to end type shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it all ends the same. You either tighten the hell up in one chance like you, or you go back several times like me. You know, but I'd rather save them that 10 years. You know, I did 6 years and 14 days in one stint, and then probably another 3 or 4. So I've done 10 inside.
Yeah.
You know, if you can save a couple of kids some of that, right?
I know, man. That's heartache, man.
It's
I
terrible.
mean, people die while you're in there, you know, that you never say goodbye to. Family members die.
Dude,
And
I lost my baby's mother. Like, they called me a year and a half in down to the captain's office and told me that this woman I was in love with had just died the day before.
oh, my gosh.
And my kids had no mother, and they were in foster care.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Man.
Luckily, my mother and her mother were, you know, in a position that they were able to get the kids out, take custody. You know, blessed by that. But you have no control in there, so don't put yourself in that situation, and you won't have to worry about having no control.
Yep.
I got a buddy right now that's running. He's running. He's wanted. Charges. What would you tell him? If you had to give him advice right now, he's on the
Turn
run.
yourself
He's
in,
hiding
man.
somewhere.
Yep. Turn yourself in.
I mean, it's just so much stress to run, right?
It's too much, man. Just get it over with. Face it. The more time you run and you live like that, it gets harder. It's not.
And
an
then how
easy
about
life.
the other ones that are attached to you?
Yeah.
Your girlfriend.
Yeah. They're
What's she going
they're
through while
probably
you're
getting
running?
their doors kicked in and all that. Like my mom went through that. I was on the run for like 2 months. My mom's doors getting kicked in every other week. You know, like that stuff hurts, man. You're hurting a lot of people doing that. So, you know, my advice is face the music, man. Be a man. Ultimately, what it comes down to is stand on your 10 toes. If you did something, say you did it, right? And so for me, that's what it comes down to. It really does. I pled guilty to the charge that I was guilty for. That I was guilty for the bar fight. I had no problem taking it on the chin and saying, yeah, I did it. You know, that's what I did. And the things I wasn't guilty of, I stood there in my innocence, and I said that. But, you know, for me, it's always stand on your 10 toes. You call yourself a man, you made an act, you made a decision, you made a choice. Now live with it. Live with, because everything has a consequence and a repercussion. And if you don't deal with it now, it's going to catch up to you. And it's going to be worse.
And you might be running then drunk
Yeah.
or have something on you you're not supposed to have on you, and then you catch another
More
charge where you
charges.
can go in there and turn yourself in with your empty pockets and the clothes you want to wear under your own terms, and then deal with it. And it's going to look a lot better on you than if they
Look a
pick you
lot
up
better, dude.
running, bro.
100%.
I've always turned myself in, bro. If I got
Yep.
locked up right now and I was sentenced, they would let me turn myself in a week or 2 weeks later.
Yep.
Because I've done it 10 times, and I've done it every time on time.
Yep. That's the way to do it.
Be accountable, man. A man is accountable for his actions. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's good or bad, you're accountable. If you do something wrong, you need to be accountable and say you did something wrong so you can learn from it. Because if you're not accountable for what you do, you don't learn from your mistakes.
100%.
That's just a fact.
And it's not the worst thing in the world, man. I mean, you know, everybody has their issues, right? Everybody struggles. Everybody does something bad. You know, dealing with it, you're going to gain more respect and more, people are going to look at you a lot differently when you just confront it. You know,
Yep.
it's going to be a lot different.
And you see you're trying to change something, man. You're trying to really do something different.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on, bro. Anything else you want to talk about or spit in there before we go?
Oh, man, check us out, urbanvoid.org. You know, Joshua D'Ambrosio. You can find me on any of those handles. Facebook, Instagram,
How do you spell
TikTok.
it?
Urban Void.
No, Josh.
JOSHUADAMBROSIO.
Okay.
Yep. You can
And
find
how do
me
you
on
say
that.
it again?
D'Ambrosio.
D'Ambrosio.
Yep.
That's Italian?
Italian.
Italian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So, yeah, check me out, man. I'm trying to do some good things and hopefully bless some people along the way.
That's
you know?
what's up, man. I appreciate that all the time too, bro. I like to do the same shit. I took so much when I was in my element that now I'm in a whole nother element and I'm giving
Yes,
back.
you are. Yeah.
And that's the I get way more from that than I ever got from selling the stuff that I stole or took or the drugs that I did. None of that shit has ever been rewarding. It will never be rewarding. Find a way to reward yourself by doing something good, right?
Yeah, and what you're doing, man, is so massively important, bro, because when you get people that have lived that life and they've come out of it, it's not just oh yeah, they went to prison, they got their life together, all that stuff. There's so much more, just so much deeper conversations to have with folks that come out of situations like that, prison or life-threatening issues or whatever, and hearing their stories, man, because there's fight, there's grit, there's courage, there's all kind of things that they're feeling in those situations in a life that they lived, that it's important their story is heard because somebody's going through that currently. They need to hear that. Like, hey, you're not alone. It may look a little different, but trust me, all the emotions, all the thoughts are very similar, right?
Absolutely.
So this is important, man. Yeah, I'm glad I can be here.
Understanding people, I think. I've learned a lot through these podcasts and things about how to understand what people go through, how they feel the trauma that causes the cycle of addiction or crazy relationships or whatever. It's weird. I don't know.
And it's a good thing too. Like when you get them on here, or they can start to open up and talk and live, you start living an unashamed life. It's like, I don't care about nothing I did in the past. I was listening to a guy, Jim Rohn, and he's a motivational speaker, and he's talking about this hourglass, right? And you know how hourglass is two big spots and then the middle piece where the sand falls through. And he says, you know, this here is your past. This bottom is your future. Your sand falls through to fill your future, right? He says, we're spending a lot of our days living here in the past and here in the future. We're not spending enough of our days living here in the present, which is that small little gap there. And so I think about that all the time. And his purpose in saying that is, if you live here in the present more, you're going to appreciate the people that are in your life currently at that time, the things you're doing to fulfill the things that you're thinking of in the future. Right? And then all the things that are from the past helped you get to this present currently where you are. If you continue to work in the present and live in the present, where most of us don't do, we live a lot in the past, a lot in the future. You work hard in the present, you live in the present, you start to put more impact on your family, on your wife, on people that you come around on a daily basis, the more present you are in the moment living there.
Sure.
Right? So for me, I think about that and I'm like, bro, every moment, every second that passes us, if I'm not living in the right now, then my future is nothing but a dream, because I'm not currently conquering and doing the things that I need to do to make sure I can make that dream a reality one day, you know? So, and if I hang too much in the past, I'm not moving forward, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, you're stuck on it. Same thing I always say, tell people the same thing. If you can't make fun of yourself, then what can you do? And if you can't tell people your story and you're hiding that stuff, then it just makes you insecure.
It does.
You know, take away that insecurity by just putting it out there. Take the air out of their balloon. They can't fly a balloon if there's no air, and I'm going to pop it. You ain't, okay, here's what it is, bro. I did all that. I did all that. You know what I'm saying? Don't look at what I did then, look at what I do now.
Exactly. And that's why this is important, because if you get more and more people to see that, you know, it changes our images too, right? Of people who are in prison. It's like, man, they can be rehabilitated. Their lives can be changed, and they can come out being a productive member of society. And that's what we hope for.
Yeah, I think the key is learning how to change people like us young.
Yeah.
If we can reach people like us when they're 16, 18 years old, or even 12 or 13, before they start shaping their character into this violent person or this liar or this cheater or this thief. Yeah. Yeah, that's the key.
And I've been all those, you know. I've been all those.
Me too.
Yeah.
For sure.
You know, and that is the key, though. You got to reach them young. You got to get to them young. You know, one of my best friends that was in prison, his son tried to carjack it was a federal agent. Didn't know, it was unmarked, right? Him and his buddy's 13-year-old son tries to carjack a federal agent, didn't know. Federal agent pulls out his gun, shoots them all dead.
Jeez.
13 years old, man. You know, it's all over the news, everything, and this probably happened last summer. But like, you think about that, man, it's like, yeah, his dad's in prison, right? Like, your dad's in prison. He probably should be there. You know, he made decisions that made him not allowed to be there. But, you know, this is a good example of, you need to get these kids out there doing something different and show them that there's something different for them. Things are accessible. You know, they're definitely accessible.
Yeah, and what they see is cool in the movies or on their whatever the hell they're watching online, 9 times out of 10 is not living a normal life and working a 9-to-5 job or trying to be an entrepreneur and starting your own business that's legal and legit. It's selling something that's not legal to make a lot more money than what that person on the corner that's selling legal stuff is.
Hood rich.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a quick end to a life, man. Really is.
Yeah, I've been trying to focus less on money. You know, money runs the world, though, bro. If I don't have money to do the things that I want to do, I can't even produce content to even try to help to do anything. So you have to be able to make money. But I'm trying so hard to not focus on that as much as focus on living life, enjoying the moment.
The moment, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Making the memories instead of looking back and being like, damn, I spent all that time just trying to get to where I am, and now I'm just trying to get to where I'm not again, instead of ever enjoying the time of where you are.
I told my wife the other day, I said, yeah, I'm very open and honest with my wife when I'm struggling emotionally and sinfully. You know, if I tell her, I say, honey, I'm growing envious. I got a lot of envy in my heart. And I was like, I never dealt with this the way that I'm dealing with it right now. And I'm like, I need to get the hell off of this social media. I'm looking at people posting their lives like it's all good stuff. You know, there's nothing, people don't post anything that's like, look how bad my life is, you know, that kind of deal. If they do, it's few far between. It's mostly, hey, look, I'm at the beach. Hey, I'm on a boat. I'm fishing, you know, like, and it's such a facade, dude. I told a group of men that it's called the Iron Man group that my church does, and it's a bunch of men. We come together and we meet every other Saturday. And I told them, I said, guys, I had this thought of, as Christians, what we've done and what we failed to do is be real. We walk in, we put this mask on, we look just like social media. We're walking, talking social media. It's what we are. We're putting on our best selves for 2 hours on a Sunday. Smile, everything's great. You know, I used to say to people, hey, you know, how you doing? How you doing? It's always, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. Now, I changed it up so much since I've thought about this. I tell people, I'm doing better than I should. Doing better than I should. And that's real, right? But we put this facade of my life is perfect. I don't sin. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I don't masturbate. I don't feel envy. I don't want money. All I love is Jesus, right? That's it. And it's fake, man. It's fake, and it does nobody who doesn't believe, it does them no good. Because then they look at us, when one Christian makes a mistake, they all fall under that umbrella of, you're bad people, you're bad people. But if you live a real, authentic life, and you show people that, hey, look, yeah, I'm a Christian, I make mistakes all the time, bro. Yeah. And that's the thing about grace, man. And it's not to be abused in any kind of way. It is there for you, but it's not to be abused. And so for me, when I'm sinning, when I'm in sin, when I know I'm doing wrong, I gotta pray, number one. I gotta ask for forgiveness, and then I gotta try to fix my problem. And it may not happen like that. It may not happen in a month. It may not happen in 3 months, whatever. I'm going through something and I'm working on it, right? And that builds something, man, inside of you. It's just like, man, it brings up a remembrance of, I've been here before, and I'm gonna get through it again. And it makes you a better person. You know, success is what everybody wants to portray. Nobody wants to portray and see the failures of it.
But that's what you learn.
Exactly.
Yeah, without your failures, you don't learn anything.
Yep.
I made a post the other day. I was just a picture of me, you know, texting on the phone, whatever. I was doing some posting or whatever. And I kind of told the story of, you know, when I first started creating content and the problems we had, the police showing up and not knowing how to make a video and things like that. And people loved it. Like, they ate it up because it's real.
Yep.
I put another one of those where we went up to make content with Ian, and we were shooting skits. And, you know, we're dressed in prison costumes and a prison background. And, like, that post went crazy, too, because I told him, you know, I used to do a lot of bad shit. I used to steal. I used to have to look over my shoulder a lot. Now I make addiction videos that raise awareness, that help people. You know, we help the community. And that one went crazy, too, because it is real and because people see that change. People want to see the good.
Yeah.
It's funny because I did research recently, and 70% of viral content is negative. 70%. Because people will click on that negative content.
Wow. Why?
Because it makes them feel good about their life, bro.
That's true. Yeah. 100%.
Did you see what happened to so-and-so? Now I feel better about me. Same reason we look at people and make fun of them. Oh, look how fat that guy is. Oh, look how ugly he is. Oh, look at that. I wouldn't want to be like that. You know what that does? Feeds your insecurity.
It does.
Makes you feel better about being you. That's all it does. That's
and then you stay in the same position you are.
You ain't no better. If you can look over that person and not judge them, that's when you're doing something.
Yep, 100%. You know, you live your best life 24 hours. That's it. You live your worst life for 24 hours. You get to start a new day every single day. So if you're one of those people that's like sitting there just getting your jollies off because somebody looks like this or they did something stupid, whatever, man, you need a therapist. You need to talk to somebody. There's a lot of something going on. It's just not okay. It's not healthy, right? It's not healthy. But, you know, I was watching one of your episodes. You were in a abandoned house. You had 3 guys in there that were living in there. I was like, bro, this is great content. I'm sitting there, I'm like, this is real. Like, I've never seen nobody it has a podcast or anything do that. I was like, that's raw. That's real. I love that. I love that, man.
They burned that place down 2 weeks later.
Really?
I did another
guys?
episode with them.
Oh,
After it got caught on fire somehow. We never really figured it out completely, but yeah, they burned that house to the ground.
wow.
Almost. I got a call at 4:30 in the morning to go there. The guy that lived close enough to see it sends me a video of the house on fire. He's like, oh my God, it's on fire. So I jump in my truck 4:30 in the morning. I drive over there. I'm there before the sun comes up. Fire trucks are there putting the fire out.
Wow.
So that's a little bit further along on the channel, but yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Crazy, man. Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely real and raw. That's are you still in the streets of Baltimore too? You still live up there?
No, so we bought a house. My wife and I live in Westminster now.
Okay.
So yeah, we're in Maryland, but we're about 40 minutes from Baltimore. You know.
So you got a lot of connections there for the urban stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet so, man. That's where I would be reaching, right?
Yep, 100%.
There's a lot of people there that could definitely use that.
Yeah, and I'm in touch with a lot of local churches down there as well. They know a lot of those city kids, the street kids, and riding their bikes and dirt bikes and all that through the street. So a lot of connections there for sure. So trying to grow it. We're still pretty new, probably like 2-3 months now, but had a lesson done already and got another one coming up Friday. So looking forward to it.
How about content? You make any content around it?
Yeah, so I'm not as good as what you guys got going on, but you know, I film it and I'm trying to get it onto the websites to show people this is what we want to accomplish, what we want to do.
You don't have to do any crazy edits with what you're doing, bro. It's real and raw in what you're doing. All you got to do is vlog.
Yep.
Put the fucking camera out here. Tell them what you're doing.
Yep.
Make sure that whoever your video is willing to get on there, put that stuff together. People are going to like it because you're changing lives. That's cool.
Exactly what we're doing. Yep. And hopefully, you know, like we got a great golf course that's behind us too. It's Shaladon in Mount Airy, and great connections there. They're like, hey, come use our course whenever you want. You know, you want to do a lesson, come on over. You're free to go. You know, so great connections there, and shout out to Joe Bacard for that, man. Fantastic connection through him and helping us get that accomplished. So hopefully we can do that with some more golf courses down the road and get involved with some more. I know there's a First Tee organization that does sort of the same thing. So, you know, we'll see if we can get some connections there too. So some things down the pipeline, man.
That's good, man. I like to see that you're passionate about it. You have purpose in your daily life, man. I think that's something that everybody can use, especially after addiction or prison or whatever.
Yeah.
You don't have anything to come home to. It sucks, but you can come home to freedom and being clean and build whatever you want. You can be whoever you want. You can do whatever you want.
Yep. And I will say this, support is major, man. Support is major. Like I had $50 when I got home. That's all I had. But I had my aunt and uncle that gave me a roof under my head. And, you know, I remember a guy gave me my first job 2 weeks out, construction job. And God bless him, man. Tom Page has passed away now. But man had a heart of gold, man. He looked at me. It was like, man, you're big. You need a job? I'm like, hell yeah, I need a job, man. Like, sweet. And, you know, you had this mindset of like, they're going to see me. I'm out of prison, tattooed. I'm big. And I'm like, they're not going to hire me, man. You had this thought of like, they're only going to see the outside. And
damn, I felt that way for a minute.
Yeah.
For sure. Everywhere I went, I just felt like they were
eyeing you and like,
me.
ew. Like, And I still feel that sometimes, even as a realtor. You come across people, you're tattooed all up. I'm like, I probably shouldn't meet them for the first time with my short sleeve. Not like I can hide anything, but you know, you think about those things, man, and it's not how other people are thinking. Yeah, most people.
Sometimes it's not for sure. It's definitely more acceptable now.
Yeah,
and they don't know your past, man. They don't know. They can't look at you and tell that stuff that's behind. You know.
Yeah.
You know, I just try to be joyful. I walk into stores all the time. Hey, how you doing? I make people laugh and kick it and just,
you got to live life.
I'm not even going to give you a chance to judge me like that. A lot of times I tell people about shit like this, and they're like, "Really?
Yeah.
You did that? You went to where and did how much time in prison?"
Yeah.
I would have never thought that. I never would have thought that would ever happen, but it does.
Yeah, I love that, dude. I love it when people are like, they actually ask you, like, "Yeah, man, what? So, tell me a little bit about yourself." I'm like, how much you want to know?
Right.
Because I got a lot.
You want surface stuff or you want to know the real shit? Because I don't care. I'll tell you whatever.
Exactly. So for me, I'm just like, I just start rolling it out. I'm like, boom, here it is.
Yeah, man.
And some of the reactions are great, dude.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
I've tried to come up with an elevator pitch, right, for my story. It's just like, how can I give somebody my testimony in like 30 seconds, while we're in the elevator. So I haven't accomplished that yet, but I'm trying to figure that out.
Right. Outline it down real quick. Well, I did all these things and then I'm here.
Yep. And by the way, so it turned out pretty well, man. Turned out okay.
Awesome. All right, man. Well, thanks for coming, bro. We'll wrap everything up, man.
Yeah.
So y'all know what it is. Till next time, don't sweat the petty things. Pet the sweaty things.
Amen.